Here we are in section 3-1, exercises numbers 27 through 34. We're actually going to do conversion. Convert the following units. So it says how many inches are in 3.75 feet. So we set up our own series. We're starting at 3.75 feet. Let's write that, 3.75 feet. And we're going to times it by a conversion factor, and we're going to equal how many inches. So that's important. We need to have inches as our goal. So 3.75 feet. Now here we have 12 inches equals 1 foot. So we could write 12 inches per 1 foot, or we could have 1 foot per 12 inches. Either one of those is correct, but which one are we going to use in multiplying right here? And you can see that we need to cancel the feet and leave inches. So we are going to use this one. See, if I put this right here, 12 inches, 1 foot. When we multiply these, this is over 1. When we multiply these, the feet cancel like that. And we're left with 3.75 times 12 inches. So let's run that through. 3.75 times 12. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 1 is 5. 15. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is a 7. Now we put a 0 down there, and 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 3 is 3, and now we add them all together. 0. 5 plus 5 is 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 15, carry the 1, and we get a 4. And we have 2 decimal places. So it is 45 inches, 45.00. And yeah, that's how many inches are in 3.75 feet. Now, some of you would be like, well, let's just times by 12. Yes, this is how you know to times, not divide by 12, is it calculates exactly. If you get the units crossed off correctly, you get it right. All right, let's do this one. How many feet in 495 yards? So we're starting with 495 yards, and we're going to times it by something to equal how many feet. So we're going to end up with feet here. So this is 3 feet equals 1 yard, so we can use 3 feet for 1 yard, or we could say 1 yard for 3 feet. And what are we going to do here? We're going to use the one that cancels yard and leaves feet. So 3 feet per 1 yard. Cool. Now look, when we multiply them, that's over 1. The yards cancel, which will get rid of yards and turn it into feet. So 495 times 3. 495 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15, carry the 1. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. And 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 14. So 1,485, 1,485 feet. Excellent. Now we're on number 29. How many kilowatts in 1,300 watts? So we're going to start with 1,300 watts. And this is going to be 1,000 watts per kilowatt. 1 kilowatt. Or we could use the other one, 1 kilowatt for 1,000 watts. Cool. Okay, so we got to get rid of watts, so we're going to times by the 1 kilowatt per 1,000 watts. And we did that so the watts would cancel, and we'd be left with, bingo, kilowatts. There's our goal right there. So we cancel the W's. 13 times 1 divided by 1,000. 1,300 divided by 1,000. So yeah, that one turns out 1,300 divided by 1,000. Well, yeah, if you move the decimal 1, 2, 3 places, 1, 2, 3 places that way, 1, 2, 3 places that way, it is 1.3 divided by 1. It's just 1.3. Kind of makes sense. This is 1,000 watts plus 300 watts, 1 kilowatt. So 1.3 kilowatts. So dividing by 1,000 is just dividing by 10, dividing by 10, dividing by 10. So we actually could have just moved the decimal 3 places. That's kind of nice. Okay, next one. Number 30. Cereal costs $4.50 for 2 pounds. So this is where we're starting. $4.5 dollars for 2 pounds, LBS. We're going to times it by something, and we're going to end up asking how much did it cost per ounce. So the end goal over here is a $sign per ounce. So notice we're going to times by a conversion factor here. The dollar will remain the same. So we have to times by something that will get rid of pounds, something with the pounds, and turn it into ounces. So we just have to get this conversion factor. So here you could write this as, oh yeah, look, there are 16 ounces per LB, or there's 1 LB per 16 ounces. And you can kind of see which one we need then. We need 1 pounds per 16 ounces. There you go. So that's how you use that equivalence to create your conversion factor. So now when we times them, the pounds go away, and we get 4.5 divided by 2 times 16, multiplying straight across, we get divided by 32. So if we do 4.5 and we're dividing it by 32. Let's do this division. Couple of decimal places here. 32 goes into 4. Nope. 32 goes into 45. That goes in 1 time. 1 times 32 is 32. Subtract and we get 1, 3, 0. The rough estimation, 3 goes into 13 about 4 times. Let's see if that works. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Good. Subtraction, you get 2. Drop down the 0. 32 goes into 20. No. And so we drop down another 0 and keep going, but this gives us enough to say it is about 0.14. Or 14, we could also write this as 14 cents per ounce, because we have $0.14 or 14 cents per ounce. Cool. And yeah, it would be 0.0 something. That'd go in maybe 6 times, so maybe it might be 14.1 if we kept going. All right, number 31. How many ounces in 5 pounds? So we're going to start with 5 pounds. Notice we're not starting with a whole fraction here. We're going to start with 5 pounds. We're going to times it by something to turn it into ounces. OZ. Why OZ for ounces? I don't know. But you can tell by this what we're going to need to set up. Pounds, ounces. So with ounces on top. So we're doing the same thing we did here, 16 ounces per pound, but we're putting pounds on the bottom. So it's 1 pound and 16 ounces on top, like that. Now when we multiply, we can tell we've done it right because the pounds cancel. 5 times 16. So 16 times 5. 5 times 6 is 0. Carry the 3. That's a 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So it's 80 ounces. Cool. Number 32. I was able to drive 270 miles on 15 gallons of gas. So 270, that's miles per gallon if we divide those two. So let's write that out. 270 miles per 15 gallons. Now that's not a conversion factor. That's what we were given, 270 for 15 gallons of gas. If you just divide these, you'll get the number of miles per gallon that you get. If gas costs $3 per gallon, now here's where our conversion factor comes in. This, we could write it as $3 per gallon, or we could write it as 1 gallon per $3. And it says, how many miles can I drive per dollar? So we're going to times this by something to equal, we have to end up with miles on the top and dollars on the bottom. Miles per dollar. Can you see that? That is our goal. So we look at this, miles is going to be to miles, and now we're going to times it by something, one of these two things, where gallons is on top and dollars is on the bottom. Can you see we've got to choose this one? 1 gallon for $3. Yeah, now if we put the other one in there, $3 per gallon, the gallons won't cancel and the dollars would be on the top. So we have to choose this conversion factor here. So multiply those, the gallons go away, and we have oh wait, we can do a little bit more. This 3 will cancel with that 270 and leave a 90. Now, 90 and 15. I think there's a 3 in each one of these too, right? And that's a 30 now. Oh, 30 divided by 5. That's a 6. Let's try it again. So 270 got the 3. So 90 divided by 15. Let's just double check. I want to make sure I did that right. 15. It says it's a 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 3 is indeed a 9. Yeah, it works. So 6 miles for every dollar. That's kind of fun. That as you're driving your car, you can tell, oh, I just cost $1, just cost $1, just cost $1. 6 miles per dollar. Number 33. If my sprinkler sends out 5 gallons per minute, notice that's the first thing we start with, 5 gallons per minute. Now we could have had 1 minute per 5 gallons, but we'll see what is better in a minute. If water costs, that is 65 cents per 1,000 gallons. So that's $, 0.65 per 1,000 gallons. Oh, not equals. I just put an equals there. If we times just these two, 65 cents per gallon, 0.65 per 1,000 gallons. Okay, notice that the gallons will cancel. That gives us a good indication that we're on the right track. How much does watering cost my lawn? Oh yeah, $1 per minute. But look at what they ask, per hour. So we actually have to times this by one other thing to get what is my cost per hour. So notice the gallons already cancel. We're good to go. Dollars per minute. So we have to times by something that will cancel the minute and leave hours on the bottom. We're like, we know that one. We didn't actually give you the hint of what the conversion factor would be because it's 60 minutes per 1 hour. Now, if we multiply all these together, the gallons canceled, the minutes canceled, and we're left with dollars per hour. So the units are correct. Now we just have to multiply these things up or cancel what we can. Notice how cool this is. We can take this, the 60, divide by 10, and divide by 10. It just cancels off a 0 there. That's good. Now we have 5 can go into 100 20 times. So that guy's gone, and that guy's a 20. You can take a 2 from the 6 and a 2 from the 20 and be left with 3 and a 10. Now we're down to a manageable thing. We have 0.65 times 3 divided by 10. So let's do that. 0.65 times 3, and then we'll take this answer and divide by 10, and that'll go right up there. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is a 19. 2 decimal places, we get 1.95. Now we're going to divide by 10. So when we divide by 10, remember we just moved the decimal place once. So this is going to equal $0.195 per hour, which is, if you're dealing with pennies, you kind of round to the nearest penny. So if you wanted to put 0.195 there, that would be fine. Or round it, that would be, the 5 would make that a 0, would make that a 2, 0.20, 20 cents per hour. All right, good deal. Number 34, last one. Milk weighs 2 pounds per quart. How many ounces per gallon? So we're going to times this by something, and we're going to get ounces per gallon. Now notice we have to change pounds into ounces and quarts into gallons. That's why we have a bunch of these. So we've got 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So we could have 1 pound for 16 ounces, or we could write 16 ounces for 1 pound. And you're like, oh, we have to times by something where we are getting rid of pounds and putting ounces on top. See how we need ounces on the top and we got to cancel the pounds? So that tells you we're going to use this version of it right here. And the second one, it says 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So we could either say 1 gallon per 4 quarts or 4 quarts for 1 gallon. Okay, so which one of those do we want? We need to cancel quarts times by something quarts and end with gallons on the bottom. That's where we're going to use that one. 4 quarts per gallon. That looks like a -4. There we go. 4 quarts per gallon. So now when we get this, we know that we're doing it right if all of these cancel except for ounces per gallon. So pounds cancels with pounds. Quarts cancels with quarts. And we are left with ounces per gallon. Yeah, so we get 2 times 16 times 4. So 16 times 2 is 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is a 32. And now we've got to times that by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 1, 2, 12, 128. 128 ounces per gallon. Excellent!